So
up to
thanks, Praneeth. So everybody was waiting. And we were also waiting for more attendees to join.
perfect.
But we can begin now that you're here as well. So let's dive in. So, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today's session. As I already mentioned, today's topic is top three countries for masters under 20 lakhs. So essentially, which are the top three countries where you can study, you can do your masters under 20 lakhs. I am Jyotsna. I'm your host for the session today. I'm thrilled to have Praneeth, the director of partnerships at Upgrad, with us, who brings a wealth of experience in higher education and global university collaborations. And also, Praneeth is a Wharton graduate, so he has walked that path, which as an international student himself, so he should have, some great things to tell us today. So should we begin, Praneeth? I have a few questions for you, which
Having me. Happy to answer all your questions and a very warm welcome to everybody who's joined us on Thursday evening. Thank you so much, guys. I know that you may have a lot of questions around your own journey or your own pursuit or plans or endeavors of studying abroad. Make sure that you're asking all questions, and Jyotsna and I would love to answer all of them.
all right. So diving it, straight into the main question. So when students are working with a budget like 20 lakhs, what are the essential key factors that they should consider while selecting a country? Essentially, what makes a country stand out as the right choice for students under a budget like 20
Sure.
lakhs?
So, a couple of factors to consider, Jyotsna. One is, of course, what kind of an economy am I going into? For instance, Spain as a country or Hungary as a country are well under 20 lakh rupees, but the salaries are extremely low. The salaries are as low as about 17 or 18,000 euros. So that doesn't make sense. So number one consideration is what is the kind of economy I'm running into or heading towards, right? Am I going to Germany that's going to pay me about 35, 40,000 euros, even if I'm doing a 20 lakhs and under degree cost, tuition and living included. And so that's one piece, the ROI, the value for money uh, comparison. The other piece is what kind of a course am I going for? And if the industry that I'm moving into is ready to receive foreign mobility. For example, a lot of places, say in France, in Finland, in Germany, you could go for, but ideally and essentially, these are not the right countries to go for to pursue a specific domain. For example, um, you can't do luxury in Germany. Likewise, you can't really do automation in France. There are two different things for two different objectives, right? So that's one factor. The second factor is the access to financial help, aid, loans, and if you are getting a non-collateral loan or if you're getting a collateral loan. So even when you are getting a collateral loan for Germany, which means either with a co-applicant or by virtue of presenting or surrendering a collateral, uh, the absolute kind of cost that you're bearing is 20 lakhs. So that's the liability or obligation on you. Vis-a-vis, like in the United States, you can get a non-collateral, non-co-applicant loan, but you can even get 40 lakhs. You don't have to show anything. You just have to demonstrate that you got into a really good school, like top 100 school, and you're through. The third factor, Jyotsna, at the end of the day is, am I getting into a sub 20 lakh bracket of the university I'm aiming to go for? Or am I getting into a good school with a good platform with a high merit of financial aid opportunity? And a really good school then makes my expense level go as low as 20 as low as 20 lakh rupees. So what is the institution am I choosing or going for? Is it really substandard because I can't afford, or is it so discounted because I'm meritorious? that it just worked out for me. Yes. So these are a couple of things. Of course, I have a lot of options to offer students. One, of course, Jyotsna, is the US. Not exactly 20 lakhs, but 30 lakhs, but you get a non-collateral loan, uh, which means you don't really have to showcase or demonstrate indicatively or by virtue of a collateral, um, the sum of 20 lakhs before you get the loan. So a lot of good schools, AACSP schools, top 5% business schools in the world, and you get it. There's a university called Troy University that gets you a 12 lakh rupees MS Computer Science. It's a public school, super. There's another MBA called Utica that's within 25 lakh rupees, and you're in. And your average salary is about $80,000. That's one option. Germany's second option, there's a school called ISM, International School of Management. It's an ASCSP school. They have a built-in internship. They have a built-in study abroad semester. They have a built-in consulting project. Your average salary is of 50,000 euros. The degree cost is 18 lakh rupees. Likewise, we've got an option in Dubai where you're spending about 12 lakhs and your degree is done. Your MBA is done in 12 lakh rupees. So lots of these options exist. Like I said, spending 30 lakhs in the US, Jyotsna, versus earning 80 lakhs to 1 crore rupees in return, or spending 20 lakhs or sub 20 in Germany, France, earning 35, 40 lakhs, or going to London or some other school in Britain and spending about, say, 20 lakh rupees tuition and living included, but getting an average salary, like I said, about 35, 40 lakhs. So it depends on how much risk are you willing to take if you have a collateral loan and if you qualify for a loan or not. And what is your merit? For example, I can give you a quick example. There's a top 75 Fortune listed MBA in the US called Clark University's MBA. Fortune 75, top 100 schools in the US, AACSP like IIM or ISP in India. Their average MBA costs about $59,000, about 55 lakhs. So it's not. With the upgrad scholarships, we bring that, which is a 40% scholarship, we bring that down to about 18 lakh rupees. So opportunities like that also exist. I'm saying there's a whole world out there, Jyotsna, that maybe a lot of us are uninformed of, but these are excellent things to pursue. So 20 lakhs is not the goal. Getting to a super good school with a super high value proposition, with a super high ROI, with a super high discounting or scholarship, that is the goal. So as we progress, I can help address all of these.
Right, right. Thank you, Frank. I mean, that was really insightful and some excellent suggestions as well, because many students are always worried about managing their finances. And, they keep focusing on that one thing and forget about the quality of education and the quality of institution they would be joining eventually. Um, Now that you have already answered what are the top three countries the students can actually look at, would you like to give some information on the typical costs like the students would have to bear, including the tuition fee, the living expenses, any other additional costs that would actually affect their decision, to choose their dream
Yeah,
country?
yeah, yeah. So I can go country by country. I think the living costs first. If you're going in the UK, Britain, and if you're looking to study in London or near London, your living cost should be between 11 to 12 lakh rupees nominally. Um, if you're going to Germany, your living cost is going to be roughly 11 lakh rupees. If you're going to France, your living cost in Paris or around Paris is going to be 11 lakh rupees. If you're going to the United States, your living cost can be anywhere between 10 to 15 lakh rupees. So that's living, just living. However, there's an opportunity in Finland. If you are a bachelor's or master's aspirant and you're going to Finland, your living cost is going to be 6.5 lakh rupees for the entire year and you're done. So there's that ray of light. In terms of the tuition, the most affordable tuition that we have is in the University of Sunderland. where the total tuition is about 9,000 pounds. It's about 9 lakh rupees. And if you look at Germany, the least tuition is going to be about 7,500 euros. And between 7,500 euros to 7,700 euros, likewise for Dubai, that's the cheapest it can get. So 20 lakhs here. In France, somewhere around 20 lakhs if you're going to a good school. Finland is going to be 9 lakhs of tuition, 6 lakhs of living, 15 lakhs, and your degree is done. Dubai is going to be likewise 15 lakhs and your degree is done. America is going to be a minimum of 20-ish lakhs and your degree is done. So lots of options. I think the important part, Jyotsna, to understand is sometimes just to cut down on expenses, we may need to alter modality. I think a lot of opportunities like upgrad study abroad that we're building exist in this day and time. That tell look, you don't have a lot of budget. You don't really have 50 lakhs to burn. Let's start for the first 6 months online before we move to campus, before we mobilize ourselves on campus. And so this means roughly you do the first 6 months of the first semester, Jyotsna, for 3.5 or 4 lakh rupees. That saves you about 20 lakh rupees at least because you're getting a lot of scholarships because you do a semester online. Schools have designated scholarships for that. And you save one semester, you say about 6 months of living cost. So that's one way to also alter expenses. That how do I do hybrid? A lot of schools nowadays, they let you start your courses online, charge you a very discounted tuition, and then you only come to the campus for the number of months that you need to be on campus um, to get the post-study work visa, which is a minimum of 9 months in the US, about 9 to 10 months in the UK, 12 months in France, 12 months in Finland. And so these 18 to 24 months MBA, you don't need, or masters, you don't need to be in the country for that long. You can stay in India, do a couple of courses online at what 80% discounted tuition, and you still get the same degree. You get the post-study work visa for the same length. But so, and in the first 6 months anyway, you're doing your visa and everything else, right? So that's one way to also alter the degree. But I think as we progress, we'll talk of a lot of scholarships that we can offer to our students, between 30 to 40% scholarships that then make it easy for people like you and I to go and kind of visualize ourselves studying abroad.
Right. I was just going to ask the next question on scholarships itself. And before that, I hope everybody who is joined today are taking notes as well because there's so much uh, information right now that is flowing. Make sure you're taking a note of all of these details. And also, this is where upgrad comes into the picture because we can offer different modality and which is not the usual where you can actually save on some money. Also, please use the Q&A option
We
to post your questions.
we can hear you, Jyotsna. We can hear you, Jyotsna, but the voice breaks. You may want to try with the camera off.
Um, Sorry. Am I audible clearly now? Can you hear me? Hello? Am I audible, Praneeth? Okay, great. All right. If everybody could just give me a quick thumbs up, I would know, or you could just post on the chat if you can hear me or not. Okay, Praneeth, can you hear me?
Sorry, I lost my connection.
All right. Okay. No worries. Great. So diving right back. So my next question essentially is around scholarships only because upgrad has partnerships with these elite institutions that offer scholarships, which are not usually present in the market as such, but are dedicatedly for grad students. So would love to hear from you, basis the top countries that you've suggested. What are the top scholarships these students can avail?
Yeah, so we'll go one by one. I think for the US, we can give up to 60% scholarship. A lot of our students enjoy a very high scholarship. So, for example, in a university like Northeastern, that's top 100 in the top 50 in the US, we give a lot of credits as waivers. So we help students start online, the idea that I was talking about. And as a result, they transfer about 12 credits to the program of their choice. That's about one third of the program. Likewise, so 12 credits typically mean your prorated tuition comes down by a lot of margin. It comes down from, say, about $60,000 to 38. And then on top of it, we give a 25% scholarship. Likewise, there's a school called Rochester Institute of Technology, Rochester Tech, where we give a 40% scholarship on top of a prorated tuition for 21 credits. So that's that. There's a school called Illinois Tech Chicago that gives 9 credits of waiver to our students. So of course, by default, a student who has to do 36 credits now just has to do 27. That gives them a leeway of at least $15,000 of discount. Plus, they give a 30% more scholarship. So which means the average expense of an Illinois Tech MBA goes down from $72,000 to roughly $30,000. Then there's a university called Drexel that's also top 100. I think it's 86th on US ranking. They have an $88,000 MBA Jyotsna that comes down to $31,000. So we have up to 45-50% scholarship for some cases. If they're upgrad students, they get a lot of scholarships, whether it's data science or AI or Gen AI or prompt engineering or mechanical or robotics or IoT or healthcare. At least a 25, 30, 40% scholarship is bare minimum with us. And
Very.
oh,
Uh-huh.
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that's all right. If you have more scholarships, I mean, go on.
So US is one, Jyotsna. Uh, in Germany, because it's so affordable anyway, the cost of education is as low as about um 10 lakh rupees for your tuition. So there, the maximum scholarship we give is the 20%. That's exclusive to upgrad students. In France, the maximum scholarship we give is about 20%. In Finland, the maximum scholarship we give is about 1,500 euros, but the tuition is 9,500. So the leftover tuition is about 7 lakhs, 7.2 lakhs. So I'm just saying, we made it so affordable with our scholarships. But also remember, you shouldn't take me at absolute count of scholarship because we help you start in India online.
Right.
Anyway, one third of your tuition fee is waived off, and on the leftover, say you have 100% cost to pay. I let you pay 66% of the cost. Yes. Even on 66%, I give you more 40% scholarship. That's what we're talking about, Jyotsna. That's essentially just 36% left, and all of it is waived off. So you just what did you end up paying? 36% of the program cost instead of $87,000. You're paying 30K. So that's the upgrade advantage, and the reason is because people are then easy and flexible to start the program online and then move.
Great. That's really helpful. I hope everybody has taken a note again. Another very big question, Praneeth, which you briefly spoke about initially, which was the ROI, return on investment. So the students would, I mean, what can they expect in terms of post-graduation career opportunities in these countries? Um, Maybe you can give us some details about the part-time work opportunities as well, and also the full-time opportunities post they have graduated.
Jyotsna, so salary wise, I can give you a figure. Germany gives average salaries of 40 to about 55,000 euros. France gives anywhere between 37 to 50,000 euros. Finland gives anywhere between 35 to 45,000 euros. America gives anywhere between $80,000 to $100,000 in salary. Your jobs, I think if you go to the US, you should definitely pick up STEM fields, whether you're in biotechnology or medical sciences, or you are in engineering, or you are in marketing, or you are in analytics. All of them have STEM fields. STEM fields just make it super easy for people to stay in America for a longer time, to stay in the US for 3 years instead of 1 year post study work visa. So that's one piece, Jyotsna. Um, if you are into technology, then artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, data analyst, blockchain developer, cybersecurity specialist, biotechnology, drug analyst or drug researcher, somebody who can do clinical trials, um, somebody who's a digital marketer, somebody who's a quant analyst, somebody who's a fintech specialist, somebody who is an investment banker. So many different jobs. It's just that America right now has 3.5 million jobs, about 35 lakh jobs that are open for international students to come and take. Which kind of jobs, Jyotsna? That ideally depends a lot on the degree, but remember that I think my suggestion to the audience is that always pick up a STEM degree. A STEM degree gets you a lot of jobs because this. So I know a lot of you must be curious that what the hell is STEM? STEM is science, technology, engineering, mathematics. America has a USCIS list. That's the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. So which means they have an immigration list that makes a distinguished recognition to some fields that can be labeled as STEM fields, and that they're willing to give extra post-study work visa, extra years of PSW to it. So as long as you're doing that should any STEM field should help. And of course, after this webinar, upgrad counselors will kind of assist you in at least finding the right course, and then you decide which way would you want to study.
Okay. And okay, so understood. I mean, that was a lot of information for our students, but what I would suggest everyone is to get in touch with our counselors, because if you want some more information, clarity on everything that we have spoken about so far, I mean, our academic counselors would be best suited to give you all of the answers and help you decide what course is best for you. Um, Praneet, I would have one last question essentially for you,
Yeah.
for our audience today as well. Um, how would you rank these countries that we have spoken about: US, Germany, France, Finland, UK, etc., in terms of the visa policies and the ease of transitioning to the country? Um, do you want to just give us a quick ranking for our students, or maybe some just some insights on the visa policies? How smooth, how easy is it to transition? You did touch base on that as well initially, how it is easier to get a loan in the US as compared to any other country. So similarly, any advantages, disadvantages in terms of the visa policies, etc.?
Yeah, I think PR is a very important aspect. Also, I'd love for people to kind of put down their questions on the Q&A button. It's at the bottommost panel of their Zoom handle. Feel free to kind of put your questions on, and I'll take them one by one. So on the PR front, Jyotsna, here's how the US works. If you're in a STEM field, um, you get 3 years of post-study work visa. Every year you can file for an H-1B if your employer is willing to give you a sponsorship. So that's that. And H-1B largely is a ballot system, unless there's some H-1B exempt occupations that you can apply for. There's a proper process for it that students go for. I think it's called an I-140, and then it goes from there. So different immigration policies, but America typically has no student immigration all the way to a PR pathway. There is no such pathway. It's a renewable visa that keeps getting extended, depending or contingent to the fact that you secure an H-1B first. But of course, until then, you have 3 years of OPT. OPT is the post-study work visa. Germany, Jyotsna, gives you a PR of almost after 4 years, including the years of your study. That if you're able to um, stay in Germany and have a good, decent job, you get your hands on a German PR. In terms of France, France lets you have a CDI or a CDD. A CDI is an indefinite visa, a CDD is a definite visa. Indefinite visa means unlimited access to the French workforce. So, which typically means that. So, I graduate out of France. France gives me a 2 year job search, job seeker visa. I find a job, I get a CDI, and then I can stay in France for as long as I want to. But within 4 years, I can apply for PR. If I have a higher salary, say about 50,000 euros and above, the exact figure may be 53 or 53.5, but essentially, if I have 53,000 euros and above on my salary range, France gives me a talent passport, a European Union talent passport. Uh, and what it does, Jyotsna, is it lets me first get a PR earlier than most regular people, but then I can go across Schengen state and kind of find a job in the 27 Schengen states. Similarly, if I'm in Germany, I get an 18 months job seeker visa. I find a job whenever I do, and then kind of transition or transfer my visa into a stay visa or say a temporary resident visa for my work. And within 3 years, actually, if you have a blue card in Germany, blue card is given to you if your salary is above 54,000 euros. And so if you have a blue card, you get your PR within 21 months. But you need to learn German up until B2 level. So I'm saying a couple of these nuances, Jyotsna, are existing, but within 4 years is your average PR, 3 to 4 years in Europe, including the years of your study. In Finland, you can apply for a PR within 3 years. So you go to Finland, you get 2 years of post-study work visa. You have to stay one more year and work, and you then apply for a PR. It keeps toggling between 3 to 4, but the point is your study years get counted. So 1 year of study plus 2 years of work, and within 3 years you get a PR. Ireland, Prashant, is similar. 2 years of post-study work visa, and then you apply for an extension at work. So I'm just saying all of these nuances need to be kept in mind. So if talent immigration, if job immigration is what you're thinking of, the US should not be on the list. It should be Germany and France. But if the highest quality of education is on your mind, if the highest quality of industrial prowess is on your mind, if you want to work for McKinsey's of the world, EY's of the world, you want to work in Silicon Valley with LinkedIn, Google, Amazon, Tesla, then it is hands down the United States.
All right.
I know, Jyotsna, there are a couple of questions. I'll just take
Yeah.
the.
Do you want me to take them or do you? Okay. All right. So Sumana is asking if a career gap affects the scholarship that we provide, and how does that play a role in, choosing a university or a particular scholarship? The career gap.
So, couple of things. One piece of this is career gap is not really a problem. I think you sometimes have an academic gap that's not acceptable. But if you have demonstrable work experience, that's acceptable. You can have a career gap, as in you weren't working, you weren't studying, you weren't doing anything, maybe preparing for an exam, or it was COVID. As long as you can demonstrably prove up to 12 months that there was a gap, that's okay. But just as a rule of thumb, Jyotsna, 80% of your gap years should be able, you should be able to justify 70 to 80% of your gap years. Because if you're not able to, then something clearly wrong. I mean, clearly wrong as in, don't take me wrong there, but just that they feel that you're an ideal visa fit, which is why I recommend people that if you have gap year, come to us, do 6 months or 8 months of an additional semester from us, like a part of the coursework in abroad, but do it with us so that you cover up on that gap. So I hope I answered that. But Sumana also has a question. I know what are the factors you consider to provide scholarships. Sumana, merit, the fact that you're an upgrad student, and your SOP, these three things.
All right. And there's another question. So there are scholarships for courses like AI, computer science, engineering. However, somebody is asking, how about scholarships for biotech and courses like such?
Oh, we have a lot of them for MHA, which is healthcare administration. For Megan, that's a nursing program. For biotechnology, we've got 30-40% scholarships. So we've got a lot of scholarships for medical students, for allied healthcare students. If you're going for an MBA healthcare, there's 20-30% scholarship. So tons of scholarship for all our students because you are willing to alter your path. So we normally have a lot more scholarships that you can avail. And essentially, I think a lot of us sometimes wonder when I meet people, I think a lot of them wonder that, hey, why is it that you give a scholarship? Why is it that, uh, how is it that nobody else has that, but you give a scholarship? I think the reason is that people kind of apply to business schools. They give they write GMAT and GRE and they demonstrate their indicative talent, or demonstrate that they can ease into the rigor of a business school or a graduate school, whichever discipline. But it ends there. So I think for our students, because they start online, Josna, they demonstrably can prove that not only are they capable to enter a grad school, they are taking 6 classes or 2 classes or 3 classes from a grad school, passing them with a 3 GPA, that's the average GPA to pass the course in the US. And I can prove to you that I've done my first semester
Mhm.
with a 3 GPA, that's the ideal GPA. And schools understand figuratively that if you can do that, you're going to be the first one to get employed. You're going to be a super sure shot case that you will complete the degree with the right GPA. And you've already demonstrated that you're not coming here to immigrate. You're not here to mobilize yourself as a talent or your human capital. Uh, and finally, I think these students graduate the soonest because they've done one semester. So their competitiveness towards when they finally get a job is very low. They don't have to compete with anyone. They're going to straight away get a job. So, and plus, one thing that I also want to mention, Jyotsna, is they have more time for research.
Right.
Imagine I'm at the campus for 12 months, but I just have course load for 9 months. I have 3 extra months to work with my faculty members on research topics that will make sense. And so, from all frontiers, I think upgrad students that start online have that extra advantage or opportunity to kind of move ahead faster than anyone else. And even if you're a fresher, Raju, and that's okay, you can still avail that option. I mean, I never mentioned that work experience was my criteria for a scholarship. It isn't. So there's no point chasing it. Just talk to our counselors, tell us what is your context, history, academic background, all of that. And then we do what we do. But I think the right thing to do, Jyotsna, now is that these people keep pouring in questions. You can give them your email address, and somebody will get in touch with them maybe this week or later this week, and they can ask all questions to their counselors. But thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you so much, Praneeth. And this was really immensely helpful. I'm sure the audience must have uh, taken notes, and there are so many things that they will take back from this session. And thank you so much for everyone who joined. Stay tuned for more such sessions. And thanks, Praneeth. I have just one question for the audience. I would like to know what more topics would they like to hear from us. So if everybody could just put in their comments in the Q&A box, that'd be really helpful. Thanks, Praneeth. Sure. Bye-bye. All right. So thank you again, everyone. Please, if you have any suggestions for the topic that you would like to uh, hear about from us, once again, please drop in your questions here. I am going to share an email ID where you can write to us, and we will, we will be more than happy to answer you back, to connect you to the concerned counselor, etc. Thank you so much for everybody who has joined. If you have any inputs, please feel free to share here, and have a good evening.